What is up, YouTube? Back again with another one. Not a full build today, but a build correction, we'll call it, on a build I feel that I messed up on. Full link to this build will be right here. You can go check it out. This was a build, the whole purpose was keeping it around $900. We actually ended up under $900, so we met our goal there for a good price to performance build in 2026. And even though we met that goal, I still was not satisfied with where we left off. Everything in this build was brand new except for the GPU, which we found a good deal online. Got it in, got it cleaned up, changed thermal pads, paste, all that good stuff. But it still just left something to be desired. We mentioned upgradability a lot in that video, and that was mostly pertaining to the single DIMM of RAM that comes with the 7500X3D bundle. I wanted the upgradability to mostly be focused on just adding another stick later. Super easy upgrade for extra performance, but I feel like the 3070 just leaves a lot to be desired. It was a 3070 from EVGA, a really good brand. We still got pretty good performance out of it at 1080p, but I felt like we were leaving some stuff on the table. So we're gonna be out with that and on to some other options. Looked into the 9060 XT 8GB or a 5060 8GB, which you'd probably see similar performance out of anyway. But with those cards, if you're going brand new, you're gonna end up spending another 150 at least, depending on which model you go with. And that kind of blows our budget out of the water. Another option would be from Intel, the Arc B580. Which this is giving you 50% increase in VRAM, going from 8GB to 12. But the 3070 is still outperforming it in most games, especially at 1080p. It closes the gap a little bit at 1440p, but I just don't feel like. Here, the best you could probably do is about $50 to $75 more expensive than that card, and to me, just not a worthy buy here either. But we came across a really good deal that I was pretty excited about. It is on a used card, but it was on Reddit on Hardware Swap. We got a RTX 3080. This is a 10GB card, so you are increasing that VRAM, but you're gonna get a lot better performance out of there. So the box came, it was in pretty good condition. There was something a little stain here. Somebody got pretty excited when they first opened it up, I think, which I don't blame them. It's a good looking card. But here it is in all its glory. And it did have a little bit of dust in it. When you're buying a card from this generation, I think everyone remembers the crypto mining times and stuff like that. So there are a couple steps you can take to look into that. Give the fans a spin, make sure nothing sounds off. Once you get into GPU-Z, making sure that the BIOS haven't been flashed. There's a couple of other things. So we looked into all that. Everything checked out when we got the card. The 3080 was kind of notorious for having some thermal issues and not having great stock pads. So the plan was to take it apart and get everything replaced anyway. But when we jumped into some gameplay, I was actually pleasantly surprised with what we saw. So we'll jump into that portion now and go through the whole restoration before we get it installed. If you're looking to build a PC during the Rampocalypse, reach out to us at polarbuilds.com, where you can go to the custom lab, get recommendations, or pick your own parts. Send us an email and we'll get a quote back to you. Or check out our available pre-builts. Most of them were actually featured right here on the channel, so you can see the full build process start to finish. So I just popped this GPU into PC I had set up, and I just wanted to check out a few games. I didn't really mess with settings or anything in these. I just wanted to get in, run some, and see how temperatures looked. And for this card, I think the temperature where you should really start worrying is like above 95 degrees. So you can see here we're sitting at 77 degrees. I was actually pretty surprised with it being an older card, a used card. It had some dust in the fans, that we were seeing such good temps even on a really demanding title here like Resident Evil. So overall, I was pretty satisfied with the temperatures out of the box, but I know the 3080 came stock with some pretty crappy pads anyway, so I was gonna change those out regardless. I just wanted to do a before and after test. But even though temps were good, I was concerned about one thing, and that was the ramping of the fans. So I'll show you in a clip right here, just a little comparison of a mouse click to what we were getting for fan noise, and this GPU was humming, which made me a little bit concerned. So yeah, as you could tell, something was definitely making those fans fire up. So we jumped into OCCT, ran this test, and even after about 3.5 minutes, seeing about the same, around 78 degrees. But we pulled up GPU Z, and that was when we saw that the hotspot temperature was actually getting pretty high, which you could see here. So we're well over 100 degrees, and you can see the memory temperature 68 degrees, which seems like a good thing. But that to me tells me that it's trapping heat on a hotspot on the core, and it's not actually dispersing it properly, because you should see a more even distribution of heat there. So you want to actually see higher memory temperatures telling you that heat is making its way through those pads like it's supposed to. So next we'll take it over to the test bench, get it taken apart and get all this thermal paste cleaned up, get the pads taken off, and apply it all brand new. Our GPU is reassembled, cleaned up with some new pads and paste, and the temperatures are looking a lot better. You can see that hotspot sitting about 13 degrees cooler. Memory temperature is up, but it's sitting even with that hotspot. And here during our test is our fan noise. So much quieter. If you look back in GPU Z, you could see we're running in the 50% instead of at 100% on that fan speed. I don't think I mentioned price yet. So we picked this up for $275, which is a great price for a 3080, especially an FE model. I think if you're able to track down a 3080 for around $300 to $325, that's a really great deal. So got pretty lucky there. Won't be just as simple as a GPU swap today, as we only used a 550 watt power supply in the last video, which that would be cutting it really close. I think I put everything in, and including the 5080, we're about 475 watts as a system. I usually like to cover an extra 30% on top of that, which puts us well into 600. So we do have a Cobra Power 750 watt that's going to be going in today. That'll give us a little bit more headroom for future upgrades like we talked about. And this 550 watt that was in here actually doesn't even have the 12 volt power cable that they started using on the higher end cards for the 30 series. So we wouldn't even have the right cable to plug into it anyway, but this will give us a little bit more room for that upgradability in the future as well. So I always talk about making sure you run your top cables before you install your radiator for just accessibility. So here, obviously, this is an afterthought, but we are going to have to remove this radiator here at the top. We have our new PSU installed. I also wanted to mention that our PSUs were apples to apples as far as price goes. They were both right at $50, so no additional cost there from the PSU swap, luckily. And we can essentially just add $50 to the cost of our build here with this upgraded GPU. We are plugged in now. Get this light out. See if we can get a boot. It's got a good angle here. All right, we got GPU fans spinning. Got our GPU RPG. RPG! Well, with our upgrade complete, let's dive into some game comparison and see what kind of increase we get for $50. Very satisfied with this upgrade. We saw about a 20 to 50% boost in most of these games. All geared at performance except Cyberpunk, that is ray tracing low, so we got to test out some ray tracing. But $50 well spent. That brings our total to about $940 overall, so we're still under $1,000. That is before tax and everything on all the new parts, so make sure you factor that in, any tax. If you're looking to buy this build off my website, there is some shipping costs incurred in that and some other fees, some operating costs. So trying to keep my costs as low as possible just to basically pump out some content and provide PCs that perform well at a low price. But it's tough in this market. So if you liked what you saw today, go ahead and give us a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and comment down below. What else do you want to see PC related content wise? What other builds would you like to see? If there's any games specifically you want to see in these benchmarks, just leave it in a comment and we'll try to include that in our next videos. So, well, that is going to be it for this one. We'll let you finish out with some more gameplay. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.